Greetings and salutations. Happy Tuesday to you as you're watching this video. Let's get into the show. We are here with NXT Thunder, and I think this is going to be one of my better shows yet. And having a good rating isn't a bad way to kick off the show. Before the announcers could even hype up the show, we see Charlotte being separated by referees from Raquel Gonzalez. Charlotte's clearly upset about what happened 2 weeks ago. Charlotte and Raquel make the way past the referees as both women start to brawl, and the referees break Raquel off Charlotte, and Raquel tells the referees to get up off of her and to get out of her way, and she doesn't see Charlotte, but Charlotte is up top, and she hits a moonsault from the top rope, taking her and Raquel out. Raquel and Charlotte are down, but Charlotte is the first one to get up, and she does a signature woo, but she's kicked from behind with the super kick to the head from Dakota Kai, and total chaos starts NXT. So Charlotte and Raquel had brawled. Charlotte had ended up getting the best of Raquel, but she still gets knocked down from Dakota Kai, and Dakota Kai she delivered on her promise of kicking Charlotte again in the face when she came back. And she did that. So Charlotte Flair still can't get the one up on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez together. 72, pretty good. And above that had great heat and good wrestling. Finn Balor defeated Bronson Reed and Bandito in 16-16 when Finn Balor submitted Bronson Reed with the Fujiwara armbar. During the match, we also had Bobby Fish run in and attack Bandito. Also, Roderick Strong attacked Bandito as well. Bronson Reed was the weak link, but knowing Bronson's ratings from over the past year, 59 is pretty good. Bandito 70, Bronson's 59, and Finn Balor leading the way with the 77. 66. So MSK is here with Kathy Kelly, and MSK says it was that MSK is with Kathy Kelly, and they said that it was Eddie Edwards' clumsiness that cost them the shot at getting the NXT tag titles. The Hunters come up to MSK, and they said that they might have a point, but they're not ready to beat FTR. Desmond, throwing little shots here, says, we have a better shot at beating them because you already lost to them. And David doesn't like this, and he gets in the face of Desmond Xavier. And David says that we paved the way for tag teams like you to be here. We worked all throughout the independent scene for years to make sure tag teams like you and us were all looked at as equals. We know FTR beat us, but can you? Zach gets in the face of David, but Eddie cuts him off, and they have a little stare down. So Zach and Eddie have a face off along with Desmond and David. So things are getting a little intense between both teams. So MSK is basically blaming their loss in the Battle Royal on the Hunters, and the Hunters don't like this. And Desmond and Zach are saying that, how can you say that we're not ready for FTR when they beat you? And the Hunters gave MSK a little history lesson on why they're one of the best tag teams of this generation, and that they paved the way. What, like in the Indies, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, back in the 2010s, they paved the way for independent tag teams, or quote-unquote vanilla midgets, as some might say, to be in WWE, because WWE didn't always look on the smaller guys, especially in the tag team division. So, a little bit intense between both teams, MSK and the Hunters. We'll see what happens there. 33. Yeah, this match was a little horrible, but it was all about the storyline. And about that had decent reaction from the crowd, but terrible wrestling. Scarlett Bordeaux defeated Marty Bell by pinfall with the Bedazzler. Marty with the 28, Scarlett Bordeaux with the better 49. 57. So Allison Kay is pissed. She says that she hyped herself up to beat Charlotte. She failed. She tried to beat Bianca. She failed. She doesn't know why. And Case is just pacing back and forth at this point. And she said that she went up to Rosa because Rosa thinks she's the hottest thing in this division after beating Gail Kim. And Kay says she wants to snuff out that flame before it even lights to an inferno, because no one will get in her way to get gold. No one. And Kay, as she says that, she shoves the cameraman and walks away. So Allison Kay has been a little bit unhinged after she lost to Charlotte. Is it just because to build up frustration from losing to Bianca and then losing to Charlotte? Or is this a character change for Allison Kay? We have no idea. But it looks like Allison Kay picked Thunder Rosa because she needs to prove herself that this little losing streak she's on is just that, a losing streak, and not something that's permanent. 62, not the best of triple threat matches, but pretty good. And about that had good heat and decent wrestling. Isaiah Swerve Scott defeated Johnny Gargano and Chris Bay in 14:53 when Isaiah Swerve Scott pinned Chris Bay with a handspring elbow after a distraction from Ricky Starks. What didn't I have? Yeah, Johnny Gargano should have been distracted by Kyle O'Reilly as well. But just think about, so Johnny is taking out the match because Kyle O'Reilly distracted him and Ricky Starks distracted Chris Bay. And for those that didn't know, during the Golden Ticket qualifier, Ricky Starks, Dexter Lumis, and Chris Bay all qualified. And then on the go-home show of that, Chris Bay threw Ricky Starks into Dexter Lumis, and he got choked out. So I guess Ricky Starks didn't like Chris Bay throwing him to Dexter Lumis, basically throwing him to the wolves. So I know y'all didn't see that, but that gives you some context to why Ricky Starks distracted Chris Bay. 67. Kyle just cost Johnny the match, and Johnny didn't like this, so he super kicks Kyle in the face. But even though Johnny lost, he realized that the referee's decision is final, and he congratulates Swerve and tells him that he has his back against Balor Club in the main event. So in the main event, it will be Finn Balor versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. Winner faces Chad Gable at NXT Stand and Deliver. Who will win that match? 36. And about that had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Kaylee Ray defeated Shazza McKenzie in 12-13 by pinfall of the Reverse Code Red. Kaylee 45, Shazza 42. Those are decent ratings, but I think that both women are unimportant at this point, and I'm trying to get Kaylee Ray recognizable, and the same thing with Shazza McKenzie. Pretty good rating. So Kaylee Ray points to her wrist, mocking Tony, basically saying Tony time. And Tony slides in the ring and tries to get her hands on Kaylee Ray. But Kaylee Ray knew that Toni Storm was going to do this, so she slides out of the ring and retreats up the rampway. And Kaylee Ray says that Tony, you'll have your time and have your shot at glory, but it's only going to be at her time. So Tony doesn't like what Kaylee Ray said last week, and she tried to get her hands on her. But Kaylee Ray says, you're going to get your hands on me when you get your shot at me, not on your time, but on my time. So Kaylee Ray trying to dictate what's happening in this deal with Toni Storm. And Tony doesn't like this at all. 76. So Tommaso Ciampa attacks Oney Lorcan again after from what happened last week. And Ciampa has snapped. So he just threw Oney Lorcan a la Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho through a TV screen. Timothy Thatcher pushes Ciampa down to the ground, asking him what has gotten into him. And Ciampa tells Thatcher that Timothy thinks he's the toughest guy in NXT when he's not. Ciampa says the Blackheart is the most sadistic bastard in NXT, and he's going to prove it. Ciampa says, go check on your boy, because you'll end up just like him soon enough. So Tommaso Ciampa went up to Timothy Thatcher 2 weeks ago. Well, I'm saying all those weeks ago, but 2 weeks ago, because Timothy coming in, you already know what type of reputation he has. And Ciampa says, you're not the toughest guy in NXT. I am. And Ciampa wants to prove that to Timothy by saying that when you face Ciampa, you get hurt. Oney knows this because he got hurt from Ciampa not only this week, but last week as well. 51. Oh, man. So they didn't work as a team. Okay, but in a decent match, Mia Yim and Eva Lise defeated Bianca Belair and Deonna Purrazzo in 13-12 when Mia Yim submitted Deonna Purrazzo. It should have been by pinfall. But after a guillotine choke, after miscommunication between Deonna Purrazzo and Bianca Belair, Bianca 62, Deonna 44, Mia 47, Eva Lise 49. This could have been at least 55, 56, 57 probably. But, okay. So but Bianca Belair and Deonna Purrazzo didn't work as a team. And that's what happens when you pair two people up randomly and you don't know what their chemistry is going to be. So, but interesting note here, Mia Yim had a strong connection with the young female demographic who really liked her winning. So that's pretty interesting. So we'll see what happens from that. That's my first time ever seeing that for a wrestler. I've seen that in other saves, but I've never seen it in this one. So I like that. I'm going to have to keep that in mind. 75. Mia Yim and Ivelisse pick up the win, and they walk up the rampway, signaling that they want to crack at Bianca's championship. So after they basically did beat the champ, but even though she didn't get beat, even though she didn't get pinned, Ivelisse and Mia Yim, they said, "Hey, we beat the champ in a tag match. We want a shot at the NXT championship." And Bianca doesn't like this because she doesn't like losing. Neither does Deonna. So they both get into a shoving contest where Bianca is slapped by Deonna. Deonna goes to leave, but Bianca is furious by this, and she catches Deonna Purrazzo with the KOD, and Bianca leaves with the championship. So not only did she lose, but she went ahead and gave Deonna Purrazzo a KOD. So not a really good night for Bianca Belair or Deonna Purrazzo. 74, pretty good. So Shotzi sees this all transpire on TV, and she in her locker room, and she goes to Trish's office, and Shotzi says this is all chaos, and Trish agrees. She said, Deonna, Mia, Ivelisse, and you both want a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. Trish says that she has an idea in mind and will announce it next week. Shotzi walks out of Trish's office saying, okay, we'll see what happens from that. But Scarlett, again, is an earshot of the conversation. Shotzi just walks away because she knows that Scarlett is nothing but trouble. But a whole lot of games from this. Trish doing pretty good, and hopefully it rubs off on Shotzi and Scarlett Bordeaux, popularity-wise. So pretty good. We'll see what happens next week and what is this major announcement from Trish Stratus. 62. So Chris Bay catches Ricky Starks backstage for costing him the match. But he's jumped by Cage because he didn't see Brian Cage. All he saw is Ricky Starks. So Cage and Ricky gang up on Chris Bay until we hear a golf cart in the distance. And in the golf cart is Dexter Lumis driving with a straight face. When he does this, he's heading towards Starks and Brian. Ricky and Cage leave the scene. As Dexter Lumis stops the golf cart, he grabs Chris Bay and he drives off. So, a very surprise assist from Dexter Lumis to Chris Bay, but Dexter has some common enemies in Ricky Starks and Brian Cage, the same as with Chris Bay. So we'll see what happens from that little tag team action going. Possibly, we'll see, maybe. But when I tell y'all what I have happened at NXT Stand and Deliver, it's gonna be really good. So we'll see what happens from that. 49. That's the better of the squash matches we've seen so far. But in about, they had decent reactions from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Cameron Grimes defeated Jeet Rama in 6:06 by pinfall. Cameron Grimes 43, Jeet Rama 48. So it's good to see that both men didn't have. Jeet Rama's in developmental, but Cameron Grimes, Cameron Grimes going to the moon with this new rich gimmick, giving him some momentum. And I'm glad to see that none of them had that bad note of negative crowd reaction or no investments from the crowd. So that's a good thing. But Cameron Grimes picks up the win. In 72. So FTR is doing a local press tour for NXT Stand and Deliver, and they have a whole bunch of people in the waiting room. And FTR is about to sign autographs. FTR is happy because they think that all these people are here for them. But the Guitar Heroes burst through the door, and the fans are excited. The fans do the air guitar along with Anthony and Rick. Anthony says their stand is open, and all the fans are lining up for the Guitar Heroes. You have a few people here for FTR, but not as much as for the Guitar Heroes. Cash and Dex are furious by this because they're the NXT Tag Team Champions, and they think they deserve more fans than these two jokes, as they call, and Anthony Green and Rick Boogs. So Cash is upset, and he confronts Anthony and Rick. He calls all the fans marks first, and then he grabs a water bottle from the crowd and throws it in Rick's face. And FTR leave because they thought the fans were here for them, but they were here for the Guitar Heroes. So it was just a bad night for FTR. 51. So Jungle Kiona will be here next week to confront Camille and Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae and Camille mock Jungle Kiona by playing with their blaster, since Jungle Kiona's part of her gimmick is that she has a blaster with her, and Candice LeRae and Camille are just mocking her by playing with pretend blasters, and they just throw it aside saying, this is garbage. Your gimmick is garbage. They say that Jungle Kiona is the least talented of all the Japanese superstars in NXT, and that she's the least deserving woman on the roster. And they'll prove it next week. Now Camille steps up and says, Jungle, you think what we're saying is false? Prove us wrong next week. So Camille and Candice are going to be ready for Jungle Kiona next week. In our main event, 65, I had to keep Finn Balor strong, and I had to protect him. But in the bout that had great heat and good wrestling, Isaiah Swerve Scott defeated Finn Balor in 1602 while pinfall the handspring back elbow. During the match, you also had Bandito run in and attack Finn Balor. So, when I started this, when I had written out all my plans, I knew that I wanted to have Swerve against Chad Gable coming out of NXT TakeOver Legacy. And some people thought that Finn Balor might have get it because he beat Adam Cole, and he's one of the most popular men on the roster. But I thought having Swerve do it would be a nice twist and also give someone some new spotlight. But Swerve 66, Finn Balor 77, great rating for both men. It probably would have gotten a green, but Finn Balor was super duper upset, and rightfully so. So I had to keep Finn Balor strong. I thought I protected him too. But I had to keep Finn Balor strong, and I had to protect him. But also, Bandito ran in and attacked him. 70, Bandito just cost Finn Balor the match, and Bandito escapes through the crowd as Finn is shocked that he just lost to Swerve, and Finn tells Balor Club to go after Bandito. So Bandito and the club have been having their issues ever since NXT TakeOver Legacy, where Bandito and Adam Cole, even before that, when Bandito and Adam Cole had to team up against Balor Club, when Balor Club attacked both men and laid them out, and it seems like their issues still exist, even though Bandito feuded with Tyler Breeze for a minute there. Their underlying tensions have just rose to a boiling point. 66. So Swerve's in the ring as the fans cheer him on, saying this is Swerve's house. Chad Gable gets in the ring, and they both shake hands in a sign of respect to close the show. So Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Chad Gable at NXT Stand and Deliver. We'll see what happens from that. But I thought it was a good show. I built up a new star in Swerve. I think he was considered a star, and I think he was recognizable. But I built him up all the way to a star. I'm pretty sure after beating Finn Balor, he would probably be a major star. But I built up a new star in Swerve. Finn Balor and Bandito. We'll see what happens from that. Trish has to make an important announcement. Deonna and Bianca have their issues. Scarlett is just being Scarlett. And we'll see what happens from that. We have a good show, and we get a 77. Okay, that was better than what I thought it was going to be. Those first couple matches did pretty good, even though but Scarlett and Marty Bell didn't do so well, and Kaylee Ray and Shazza McKenzie wasn't really all good as well. But tell me what you thought down below. 77, pretty good rating. And so tell me what you think about this build to NXT Stand and Deliver for Thunder and NXT in your house for Inferno. So tell me what you thought down below. I see you when I see you. Peace.